Got a 2010 Braun Entervan. It's a Chrysler Town and Country. Doing some struts and sway bar links. Got a little bracket on the back of the strut, 10 millimeter for the wheel speed sensor. First thing I want to do is take off these sway bar links, stabilizer bar links. I got 18 millimeter on the back. Already sprayed some stuff down with PB Blaster. 18 millimeter fits on the back of there. We got an 18 millimeter on the front. Now, if you don't have a nut on the back of the sway bar link, use some vice grips or something to keep it still because it will spin. That's not working. Not working for us. Go to 11/16. That nut's kind of stripped out. See if that 11/16 fits on there good. No, it doesn't quite fit on, so we're gonna have to give it a few hammer smacks. Might have to heat this one up. And we'll give it a go. Not budging. All right, I got that sway bar link out. Had to use the old torch, heat up the nut. Sucker was on there good. You better believe it. All right, we got a couple of nuts to take off from the strut now. Got a 13/16 fits on there. I'm sure it's a metric size, but that fits tight. We'll zip those guys off. These guys are on there pretty good. Alright, two big nuts off the strut here, coming in through the side. Now, these are bolts with a point head on them, so we're good to hammer. Boom! There goes one. These bolts have these little press notches on them, so they're not going to spin in there if you use an impact or ratchet from the other side. You gotta can't get a good hammer blow on this one. Let's turn the wheel. Maybe use a skinnier hammer. Yeah, you gotta get those press spots to break free, and then it'll come out. Just use a little screwdriver to punch it the rest of the way out. Here it goes. Alright, now our strut is free from the steering knuckle. There we go. Bada boom. We got to bring the vehicle down. They were replacing those sway bar links anyway, so be prepared to replace them if you're doing this job. Always good to replace the sway bar links with the struts. I wasn't afraid to hurt those sway bar links at all. Got our hood popped already. And we're going to be coming for the top bolts under the hood. All right, we got our black cowl off. You got to take the windshield wipers off here. You got a 15mm nut on both of them. And these ones, first time I've had to use this tool all year. Let's see, we got some tools right here. Goes underneath the wiper blade. The middle part screws down on that bolt to pop it free from the presses. The wiper press in there. Let's see, we got a wiper right here. Right there. There's little press marks. It's in there tight. And then we had two Phillips head little rivets that go in here. Take the Phillips out. Whole cowl comes off. Now we got our 13mm bolts here on the strut. Take those three off and the strut will just fall down. But we don't want it to fall on that wheel speed sensor wiring harness. So let's see if we can get a good look here. There we go, right on the strut. Right on it. Boom. All right. So we got this one left here. Got a finger loose, holding the strut up, keep the pressure off. And then we come down and boom. We got our strut. Now we got our new strut. Comes with new bolts for the top. That's pretty amazing. We're gonna take these bolts off. Look like they're still 13s. We're gonna line up that strut so it's facing the steering knuckle. And it's a little tricky doing it by yourself. Getting it to line up perfectly. There we go. You gotta hold it up with one hand. Start the nuts on. Two. Last one's a little tricky because the wiper arm's in the way a little bit. There we go. We got our third on. I'm gonna leave those bolts a little loose while I line up the bolts down here. And then I'll come back and tighten them from the top. All right, we got our big strut bolts coming in through the side in. You gotta lift up on the steering knuckle, line them up. I like to put a couple screwdrivers in there. Just kind of get it lined up and then get your bolts going in. Hammered on the heads of the bolts to get the press started. So I haven't tightened those up yet. We do got to put this wheel speed sensor bracket back on, 10mm, no problem. Now we got our sway bar links. These sway bar links have a nut on one end, so the ball doesn't spin inside there. Put a wrench on that side while you tighten the nut on the outside. We're gonna pop that guy in there. we got to bring our sway bar link up to meet it. Got our sway bar link in place. You're going to want to get the other side taken apart. That way this bar moves easily for you, so you can set them in place. So I like that to be the last thing I do, the sway bar links. Get them set on both sides. Tighten them down real good. Make sure you tighten down these bolts. They're big bolts. Tighten down real good. Get your 13 millimeters tight up top under that cowl. Put your wheel speed sensor bracket back on. Throw your tires back on. And, put your cowl back on, and then put your wiper blades back on. And that'll do it. All right, I'm gonna get this job wrapped up. Thanks for watching. I don't think I mentioned I had to heat this up to get the old one off, the torches. If you don't have torches, you can use like an angle grinder and cut it from the back or the front, turn the wheel. Sawzall, angle grinder, whatever you gotta do.